Inspired by Job 22:28, as well as the decreeing section of Neville's book, Your Faith is Your Fortune. Job 22:28 states, Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Now, the individual might ask, what is decreeing? Well, Neville articulates it precisely here. He says, Ye shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. Can now be told in this manner. You shall become conscious of being or possessing a thing, and you shall express or possess that thing which you are conscious of being. So, the individual may accept that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Decreeing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And sure enough, witness the appearances, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, more so each moment in increasing frequency on a continuous basis as the outer appearances of life, because that's what they're conscious of being. And so we've been discussing this a lot lately. Being as I am, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. The nature of existence being love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Sure enough, it appears as the outer appearances of life. So, perfect example would be recently moved to a new place, have a wonderful room dedicated to recording these videos and other initiatives, which personally I consider to be fulfillment, knowing that I am fulfillment. And also, I recently got a new car, which I wanted a specific model, and I wanted a specific color, specific red interior, and it was only available looking that particular way in, I believe, 2019 to 2022 or something like that. So, if someone bought the options from the factory and put the red sports seats that were available, and also the rims, the exact rims, and was an M series, made all these particular choices exactly like how I would have ordered it in that year, which an individual might say is rare, that there could be a car that has exactly the specifications and factory option specifications built to spec that I personally would want had I had bought the car. That would be considered rare. And so we know thus far, we are not to concern ourselves of the how things appear or the story regarding how it got to the point. All we know, applying the decree, we know we can accept that we are that which we desire to be in imagination, and it appears. And so decreeing that I am, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, also includes all the wonderful outer appearances of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So this was exact specification. And it turns out there was only one available in Canada at the time I was interested in acquiring the car. Yet it was in Sherbrooke, Quebec. So I ended up booking a flight to Montreal, and they picked me up from the dealership and drove me there. And so I ended up driving that exact car back. And so these are some of the examples of what I'm noticing as I have been decreeing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And I trust that you as well have been experiencing these areas in your life as well. Now, it is what the individual considers to be love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. The outer symbols are what you consider to be. So if I consider it to look a particular way or an experience of life to be a particular way, that's my individual way of experiencing prosperity. And so you have your individual way of experiencing prosperity. And so you can decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. As he says, you shall become conscious of being or possessing a thing, and you shall express or possess that which you are conscious of being. So, Consider this. Capturing the feeling of being I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Now, regardless of appearances, regardless of interpretation of what that implies in the moment, capture that feeling, and abiding in that feeling is what I tend to do more so nowadays than ever before. And so I relate this to decreeing. He says, turn from the blindness of the uninitiated who attempts to express and possess these qualities and things which they are not conscious of being and possessing, and be as the illumined mystic who decrees on the basis of this changeless law. Consciously claim yourself to be that which you seek. Appropriate the consciousness of that which you see, and you will know the status of the true mystic as follows. I became conscious of being it. I am still conscious of being it, and I shall continue to be conscious of being it until that which I am conscious of being is perfectly expressed. Yes, I shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. So let's further discuss what he says. I became conscious of being it. I am still conscious of being it, and I shall continue to be conscious of being it until that which I am conscious of being is perfectly expressed. So, as mentioned, you don't need to look to this world for approval, validation, confirmation of that which you are. Love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Through my experiences in life, this became easier through the practice of applying this information. So the practice of applying this information is the acknowledgement that I imagine or I feel myself or think feelingly from the premise of having. So I imagine myself from the premise of having, as we talked about in Thursday's video with respect to visualization, which I'll link to in the description. You can also capture the feeling of being that which you desire to be. You can also think feelingly from the premise of being that which you desire to be. Carry on an inner conversation with a friend congratulating you on being who you desire to be. As I say, desire means having. So through the practice and repetition over the years of doing this again, again, and again, which for me the journey started off with auto-suggestion from Think and Grow Rich, the auto-suggestion chapter. I came to the realization that the subconscious aspect of mine had beliefs stored in there that were not true and authentic. I call them untrue beliefs. And through auto-suggestion, I could release identification to these untrue beliefs. And through the repetition of doing this again and again and observing that when the identification to those untrue beliefs were released, so what appeared was from the premise of truth. Love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. What I consider to be love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Knowing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. You can consider yourself to be love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, whatever implies that, because you know that I am. All is love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, fundamentally, as you have everything. You are complete, you are whole, and so you may decree a thing thus, and it shall come to pass. He says, the individual can decree a thing, and it can come to pass. The individual has always decreed, which has appeared in their world. They are today decreeing that which is appearing in their world, and shall continue to do so as long as the individual is conscious of being an individual. And so the individual is always relating to appearances. A wonderful question is it from the premise of being that which you desire to be? You name it. What is it that you desire to be? As I mentioned, I go to the end, knowing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, and remaining as I am, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, regardless, or we could say transcendent to or beyond individual interpretation of appearances. So the individual within mind has perhaps untrue beliefs in which they're reactively relating to appearances from the premise of those untrue beliefs. And so what I teach is to relate to the appearances from the premise of truth. The practice, the repetition of doing this again and again and again allows you to remain in your ideal state of consciousness. And so you're aware of what you're relating to appearances based on what you're thinking and also what you are emotionally relating to appearances as they reveal the beliefs identified with. And so knowing you transcend these beliefs stored in the subconscious aspect of mind, which the subconscious aspect of mind is a place where beliefs are stored, past imaginal activity queued up, stored for expression or appearances. And these can play out again and again and again as patterns. If these patterns are not from the premise of truth, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, no shame and condemnation, release identification to those beliefs by capturing the feeling of being that which you desire to be. So we could say then, as we decree, we know that we are, as the individual may seek for love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment in outer appearances. Yet when they turn that around to seek and find it within, then that's what they're conscious of being. He says every individual automatically expresses that which they are conscious of being without effort or the use of words at every moment of time. The individual is commanding themselves to be and to possess that which they are conscious of being and possessing. I am, the individual's unconditioned awareness of being, is revealed as Lord and Creator of every conditioned state of being. And so knowing that I and the Father are one, you exist beyond conditions, you exist beyond appearances. The individual realizes that truly they are beyond identification to past beliefs and also the appearances, and thus may relate to appearances accordingly. And I like how he says, unconditioned awareness of being. Unconditioned awareness of being. So this is key because the subconscious aspect of mind may have conditioning in it. When I say release identification to that conditioning, remain unconditional to appearances. So regardless of appearances changing, for example, when I was acquiring that car, when I was moving into my place, there were some changes in the environment, which I would say 10 or 15 years ago, I would have been very reactive because I was identified with those appearances as a result of identification to those beliefs, the untrue beliefs, subconsciously relating to the appearances as identification to the appearances, which the individual may doubt or think from the premise of untrue beliefs in relation to appearances, and generate unnecessary resistance when what is actually occurring is the outer appearances of life are rearranging to appear as what the individual is conscious of being. And so having released over the years so much identification to appearances, I allowed the changes to occur, which maybe back in the days, I would interpret them from the perspective of untrue beliefs, experiencing resistance with respect to the changes that were occurring. So I was allowing the appearances to rearrange by remaining in my flow. Essentially, as I've been saying, being as I am, unconditional to appearances. Let's explore this further. Unconditional to appearances. So knowing that I am unconditioned, truly, and thus eternally blissful, the individual may relate from the premise of truth in relation to appearances, knowing that they had decreed the thing, and it shall come to pass. Now, if the individual is identified with appearances or resistance or anything in relation to the appearances, I always teach no shame, no condemnation, be still, allow the appearances to rearrange. So again, he says, I am, individual's unconditioned awareness of being is revealed as Lord and Creator of every conditioned state of being. The day the individual does this, they will know that they and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than them. They will know that their consciousness of being is one that which they are conscious of being, but that their unconditioned consciousness of being is greater than their conditioned state. So I can of myself do nothing, the Father within doeth the work. All I do is decree a thing, knowing that it shall come to pass. And so, again, what does decree mean? I shared some examples of decreeing, knowing that I am, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So let's go back to the beginning. He says, He shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. Can now be told in this manner. You shall become conscious of being or possessing a thing. You shall express or possess that which you are conscious of being. So where can you be conscious of being? Within. And so you can be conscious of being that which you desire to be now, by capturing the feeling of being the way you desire to be, having in possession that which you desire to have. And as you abide in that feeling of fulfillment, which, as mentioned, is your natural way of being, I am fulfilled, I am, knowing that you're one with all, knowing that you have everything, whole, complete, I am fulfilled. Thus you're conscious of that being, I am. And so the individual feels peace, or we could say at peace, or rests satisfied, knowing that I am what I desire to be. And so as the individual rests fulfilled, knowing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, the individual is conscious of being that which they may seek for. They're seeking for fulfillment, they're conscious of being fulfilled. They're seeking for happiness, they're conscious of being happiness. They're seeking for peace, they're conscious of being peace. And so this is the practice. And so I also like to do this in relation to appearances. The individual may forget that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, because perhaps they're relating to an appearance from an untrue belief. They're identified with an untrue belief. And where would this untrue belief reside? Knowing that I am already love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. In the individual's mind, I and the Father are one. If the Father is greater than I, the individual may be identified with beliefs stored in the subconscious mind, which in that moment of reactivity in relation to appearances, awareness is brought to that. Being still, knowing that I am, as he mentioned, I am, unconditioned awareness of being, is revealed as Lord and Creator. And so then the individual rests assured, knowing that I am, beyond appearances, unconditioned. I am unconditioned, thus love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, beyond appearances, and mind is purified, knowing that I am unconditional to those appearances, unconditional love, unconditional happiness, unconditional bliss, unconditional peace, unconditional fulfillment. And the identification to the appearance is released. And as it was continuing to do so, the appearances continue to rearrange to appear as what the individual had decreed. And thus it has come to pass. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You could say, I decree a thing and it comes to pass, knowing that I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Thus I, conscious of being love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, Know that I am truly love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And as I remain as I am, it appears more so in increasing frequency on a continuous basis as outer expressions of life from the premise of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.